Hey folks, Dave here, and welcome back to some settlement building here in Fallout 4, where we're going to look at the two most important pillars of post-apocalyptic communism here at Warwick Homestead. Those pillars are education, and of course, re-education. Alright guys, before we get to some building today, we're going to tour a little bit of what I've been working on. What does every good communist society need? Well, they actually had quite the emphasis on education for children. And having played through a Metro Exodus level recently with an abandoned children's school that really felt inspired by Chernobyl and Pripyat, I was inspired to make the same kind of school here for my settlement. It's more or less complete, so we're going to tour that before we get over to some building at the Ministry of Security with that very important re-education. I did upload some Metro Exodus gameplay here on the channel just last week. It's right there on the clickable link on the screen or down there in the description as well. We'll come back around to the outside later. Let's take a look inside first because the lighting is going to look really neat here at night. Children are our future. You guys are going to notice I did use the barn building pieces to build this, but I'm really trying to break up the blockiness of those pre-placed classic Bethesda objects. So I've put extra work into trying to get rid of the boxy look, adding different support pillars and beams and all kinds of decorations so that it's not quite the same looking barn that you're going to see at other settlements. This does have that classic classroom, almost Pripyat style that I was going for. And I'll show you guys this screenshot right here that directly inspired this classroom that I took while I was playing that Metro Exodus level. There's just something very unnerving about a bunch of gas masks on children's school desks, but here in the apocalypse that would be a very likely thing to see as you're teaching kids how to use them effectively. At the back of the classroom, you've got the activities chest. Lots of different artifacts from this being a coastal settlement. You do have the toy corner with some different toys for the kids to play with, as well as their pencils and some books and some pots for practicing all of their outdoor activities. Got to make sure that the next generation can garden to sustain themselves. Nice, fun, tongue-in-cheek poster there. Just a bit of communist propaganda. And we've got those classic school desks, probably looted from elsewhere nearby in the Commonwealth. I did use this light right here on the side, this fluorescent light that casts the shadows, just because, especially here at night, the shadows from all the furniture and posts and decorations just look really, really cool. So this room definitely, with this amount of detail, needed that shadow casting light to really make it pop. All kinds of gas masks. Someone's got their teddy bear. And on the teacher's desk, what I would imagine to be a model of a Russian cosmonaut. They were big into the space adventures. I think that actually does work for the Fallout timeline as well. I did get stuck over there in that post. This is a very crowded building, trying to get all these decorations fit in here. Also have your science corner with additional gas mask protection and some, well, science-like equipment for learning that subject. Plus you got to have your clock right there to keep track of your school day. We have this world map right here with some kind of activity going on where the children have been pinning things to it. If we go out back here, the schoolhouse, which as you can see from the outside, was built from pieces of this wooden barn that were drug in from out in the wasteland. You've got the schoolhouse outhouse here. Pretty basic barrel and cinder blocks there. And some outer defensive walls here just to keep the school children safe as they're going to and from. Let's go ahead and get some daylight going because it is pretty dark out here. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to break up that mostly boxy shape of the barn template by adding some decorations to the outside just to break up that silhouette. It actually worked out with where I was looking at placing this structure because you have a bit of broken pavement here, which is perfect for an apocalyptic basketball hoop. Whoop. Then the kids have a few defenses here, but not quite as many turrets and strong walls as a Minutemen settlement would have. Although, is that an explosive turret? Oh, yeah, it definitely is. Down here you have the outside playground. Again, bits of inspiration from the apocalyptic-looking Pripyat, as well as Metro Exodus. They don't have a ton of different activities for the kids, just a couple of things that were dragged in, probably from the same destroyed school where they got the school desk from. Just a few things for recess. And despite being communist and being probably against just about everything that Nuka-Cola represents, you can't argue that kids love cartoon characters, so we got a couple of the cutouts drug from Nuka World. And this campfire right here was part of the original settlement, and it was just sitting outside the doors here, so I imagine that this is where the kids learn some of their pioneering skills, making fires, cooking meats, sanitizing water, you know, all the important things for school kids to learn in the apocalypse. We also had the workbench back here in this corner, and there was kind of an awkward shape next to the schoolhouse, so I decided to put our roof over top and turn this into the outside school workshop. A couple of repurposed Vault Tech posters. Hard work is happy work. Definitely a apocalyptic communist ideal. And some workspace where, as you can see, they're working on that farming knowledge as well as repairing this Nixie tube right here. I'm thinking that these are probably used in both the power plant area of the settlement as well as the reactivated water plant. So, you know, you get the kids learning some things about how to repair stuff, and then they're actually repairing them for use around the settlement. No idle hands here at the Warwick Homestead Communist Commune and Water Plant. I've also been thinking about where I wanted to house the official soldiers of this society, and I'm thinking that because I can't delete these beds easily, these are the named Warwick beds in here, this is going to be the barracks. It needs a few more bits of decoration to get there, but I like the idea because it's the most secure building in the settlement, so they would be well protected with their important role as the protectors of the settlement, and they can also keep an eye on the water plant and its infrastructure, which I imagine is probably, along with the farm, the water plant is probably where this society gets a lot of their caps from through trading with outside sources. As we head past the civilian housing here, as you guys saw in the intro, I have built a security ministry. So, if the soldiers' barracks are going to be in the water plant itself, this building right here, this structure next to the water facility, which I was going to use for a barracks, is instead going to be the re-education center. This is basically a political prison. If your communist ideals are not correctly in line, this is where you're going to end up for some re-education. And it's not detailed yet. We're going to build some of that here in this episode. I also want to talk about our security ministry here. This has been a really fun building to prototype. I wanted this to be a new construction, something that the communists here at Warwick would have really poured their best engineering efforts into. So, it is mostly new concrete and just a little bit of looted and scavenged metal. The tricky part is, even more so than that barn structure where I used it to build the school, the tricky part for this concrete build set is not making it look like a giant concrete fake gamey box, because if you just snap those concrete pieces together, they just look terrible. So what I've done is layered a couple different things here. You have a mix-matched set of concrete pieces, which already helps by not using the same textures. And I've also gone through and added some bits of roof detailing, which just helps make it look less boxy. You can see over here, we've also got a slightly roughly built deck that was added onto the side of our security ministry here. And some of these high-tech lights looted from downtown Boston right over there. So you've got a base here of new concrete construction with some looted bits on top, all coming together to make this look just less like vanilla Fallout. This looks a little bit more realistic, like they've actually built this thing. I added these kind of crazy looking arm ribs off to the side, along with some protective pillars. Not pillars, not pylons either. What are these called? Oh man. What are dock pier posts called? I swear there's a word for them. I'm sure 100 of you guys are going to remind me of what it is in the comments. But anyway, pier posts here to protect the ministry from the rented docking location of the SS Center, which comes and goes from Pleasure Island out there. It was a little bit tight fitting this building here on the corner, but I just liked how it looked kind of imposing here next to our prisoner re-education facility.
Hi, how are you?
And the concrete braces here that I just mentioned are essentially a way to make it look a little more ramshackle, but still carefully planned. Again, the best construction workers would have been working on this facility, because this is basically the government's presence here at the settlement. And we have this fake window right here to watch both the civilian housing as well as the farm and the prisoner facility. As you guys can see from the outside, it is a painting of mountains, but our security agents, this settlement's KGB, can watch everything from the inside, including this nice deck right here. Wouldn't it be a shame if people had conversations out there and the security services were listening the entire time? So this is where we're going to build some today, guys. As you can see, it is not quite decorated just yet. And then this is going to be the security commissioner's home office right here. Let's go ahead and get a couple things built here. Let's go into workshop mode. Let's start here by filling in our security agent's workspace. And I think this light is going to have to go somewhere else. Let me just move it out here for now. Watch, I'm going to forget that that's there. Because I want to go to power, and then I think it's miscellaneous. Gotta have your security camera monitors. There we go. Actually, let's put that light over top. Now we're talking. Synth fabricator, what's that? Camera number 1. And camera number 2. These do require power leads, don't they? I might just use them as props for now. I'm not actually going to be watching their feeds very often, so not too worried about it. Definitely going to have a security camera recording everybody coming and going from Pleasure Island. Again, that's a uncomfortable partnership for the communists here. Like you guys pointed out, Pleasure Island is the hotbed of capitalism here in the Commonwealth. All the worst kinds of capitalism. But the island just pays so well for using the dock here, because the Minutemen won't allow them to dock anywhere else, that the communists are just dealing with it for now. But you know, everybody coming and going is getting marked down. I'll go through and fill out my cameras a bit later, but I gotta put one more in our new schoolhouse here. We gotta keep an eye on our teachers, make sure that their teachings are in line. We're gonna have to figure out how to fit a couple of different desk options here in the front room. Let's look at homemaker furniture first. I think this is where I got the kids' desks from. Yeah. Unfortunately, these really cool looking computer consoles are, I think, gonna be way too big to fit in here. Let's see. That's going to take up so much space. Might do one. So you've got one guy working on his console, recording everything. I was really hoping to fit like 3 desks in here. We might be able to pull this off. Let's move that TV for now. Desk 1. Desk 2. This is going to be such a tight fit. And desk 3. I want this to look pretty crowded though, so we can work with this, I think. Put our trash can tucked right there. We've got one filing cabinet. One more right here. I mean, even a authoritarian communist society in the apocalypse could only store so many records, right? Right. And I'm going to take this static TV and shrink it down with place everywhere. That way, we've got one extra screen just turned off at the moment. The look I'm going for here, guys, is kind of a combination of some kind of Fallout-style CIA headquarters crossed with a grim communist KGB style. I don't think we're going to have a lot of room for stuff like lockers. We're just so low on space already. We can squeeze that one into this corner, and this is going to be the weapons locker. So most of the firearms here at this location are going to be kept for the security services in these couple of lockers here. Ooh, the safes. I almost forgot about the safes. We'll put that in the Commandant's office. We'll stack them too high as well. And he is also going to have his own weapons locker. Privilege of the position. Some of those things are probably going to have to get moved around, but while I'm here, let's get them placed. I'm going to go ahead and place our Commandant's desk. Whew. Yeah, this is a tricky one to fit. I doubt I can even walk past that, yeah. Visually it looks good though. Just won't be able to actually get back there. This is only a 4x4, no, 2x2 large tile building, according to Fallout settlement building standards, so it is a pretty tight space here, but any new construction would probably be pretty small, especially if it's up to the standards that I described it as. You know, they're pouring fresh concrete and stuff like that. Surgery chair. Let's give him an executive chair. Ooh. I like those 60s style chairs though. Ha, yes. And we're going to put up a curtain. Oh, I can walk through right here, kind of. Yeah. We're going to put up a curtain there. Yeah, we'll go with a 70s style curtain right here. Trying to remember back to my time watching Chernobyl. The HBO series a couple of weeks back. Like the colors that were used, kind of that 1970s still Soviet decor. Match it just a little bit. Again, the communists here are an amalgamation of Soviet-style communism and Chinese-style communism. They're going to be basing their beliefs off of scraps of information and photos, and it's not going to be, you know, a super correct version of any kind of communism. All lights. Let's see. How does this one look? Oh, that's fine. So you guys get basic rolling chairs. I'm going to tuck them underneath to save space. Let's drop over to decorations. And I think I've got a flag that's like curled up. Okay, not in this category. No General Dave paintings. This one could be shrunken down, I think. I'm going to say actually no propaganda at all in the Operatives Room. This is where it is all about business. Anyone who's in here working in this main room already knows the party line. But of course, you know, your Commandant's office has to be able to impress. Go through our mounted heads here. Don't have a lot of meats in storage to build a lot of these. Yeah. Not gonna do any of those. Can I get outside here to hang this slight banner over that window? I wonder if I could get up here on the SS Center and hop onto the post. Alright, here we go, guys. I should really just use no clip to get over there, but I'm kind of determined now. If I get up on this, okay. Probably reach it from here. Gee, that sure does work a lot better. Okay. You guys can see from this side of the building how I've kind of tried to get rid of that blocky square look. Although some of the pieces are clipping a little bit awkwardly. I might have to tweak those a little bit, make them look better. Making good progress here, though. I'm liking how this is coming together. In fact, if that's all of our main furniture, except for a rug for the Commandant's office, it's almost time for detailing the small stuff, which is always one of my favorite parts. Give him a nice basic rug here. And I think I'll just leave it with the one rug, just to help ground things. There is glass in that window, so that works out nicely. Okay, let's do a quick save and then pop in a couple of those small details. Alright guys, after a bit of a detailing montage, here's what I settled on for our security ministry details. Put a few decals out front. That one appears to be a little too close to the ground. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. Nope. Let's lower that one. There we go. That's how that's supposed to look. I put a few more of those over here just to break up the repetitive deck texture here. As we go inside though, still no ideas for this flower bed. Let me know what you guys think. I imagined this desk right here as the Interrogators Desk. He's got his handcuffs, his bribing caps, and you know, we'll probably end things by putting some kind of dastardly looking tool down there as well, like a pair of pliers or something. We have all of our setups for our clerks over here for intelligence reports and taking intel. I imagine whatever phone lines those are connected to are super spotty and barely work. I just love the idea that a settlement that for the most part is still just all about either farming or purifying water and selling that for caps has a government that's just going all out with this detailed communist security ministry structure, looting things from the city to make it work when they're just barely getting by out there. We have our main, probably the camera control console here. He's got his ashtray full and plenty of holotapes for recording data. You guys already saw our screens over here and our storage for our weapons for the security team. Then in the Commandant's office, got his corner desk over here with his TV. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that is something from the submarine, the Chinese submarine over in the harbor. So I would imagine that that has been looted. And then this is the Commandant's desk. He's got a bit of propaganda on the wall. And his cosmonaut figurine. And I did find a small safe to go on top right there in the back. This does feel very imposing, very authoritative. Close the door back. Yeah, let's add our last pair of pliers, and we're going to call it for today, guys. Wow, I'm actually almost out of all kinds of fun stuff here. Just a lumberjack saw. For now, here we go. Rat poison. Alright, guys. That is our Warwick Ministry of Security. I'll do some building either next time or on my own on our actual prisoner housing here. Seen right now is of course unfinished and wide open. For now, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.